Hello. Feeling a bit anxious at the moment, but that's because I had a coffee about an hour ago. It's funny that in the past, when I would experience anxiety, I would attribute it to other people. I would kind of think that I'm feeling anxious because I'm feeling nervous about how people are perceiving me. But that was a kind of post hoc, after the event explanation I gave to what was happening now. A much more reasonable explanation for why I feel anxious quite often is because I drink coffee. Coffee is a norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor, which is a neurotransmitter responsible for the fight or flight response. Anyway, today, I was going to talk a bit about non-duality. How, for the coolness of non-duality, you've got to kind of see it yourself. But it's indisputable that the world is kind of non-dual, and you may not get that because you don't get what non-dual means. But say we pick out an object that we call a single entity, a single thing, like say a tree. When you analyse this object that you call a single thing, it's actually made up of many things, all connected together via various connections. But the fundamental kind of connection that connects them all together is a causal connection, like something happens over here to this bit of the tree and it has an effect to something that happens over there to that bit of the tree. So you see that this thing called a tree or a single entity is a kind of arbitrary construction that we've made up. The tree, where does a tree begin and end? In order for the tree to be, it needs to suck water up from the ground, and the roots go into the ground, and the connection the roots have with the ground is the same as the connection any bit of the tree has with any other bit of the tree. And so you see that what we've done, as I said in the other video about non-duality, we've kind of got these cookie cutter molds, and one of those cookie cutters is trees, and ground and me and sky. But really it's just arbitrary. It's a construction we've made up. And this means some funny things. If by me or I you mean a separate individual, totally independent and self-contained, which is what Descartes meant by substance. It was a independent, self-contained, perpetuating thing that didn't need anything else, and so he made up a world of the modern conception of Descartes is two. That's why it's called substance dualism, but he had a third one. But if you see that's false, that everything's connected to everything else, and what we call a thing is just us arbitrarily cutting out from the rest of everything else a certain group of connections, then you see that there is no separate substances, and that there is no separate I who's outside of reality, because I can affect reality and reality affects me, and I'm causally connected to the process. But that's a kind of outside kind of seeing of it. And in our awareness, in our experience, we are always aware of stuff. And if you look for the I that experiences it, you'd never find it. So you see that this I is a hypothesis you've made up to kind of explain reality, but reality doesn't need explaining, or experience doesn't need explaining. We've kind of identified ourselves with this bit of ourselves called consciousness. There's this non-dual idea, or some non-dualists believe that the ultimate reality is conscious. I'm not too sure about that, but within the non-dual tradition they're all disagreeing, because which is a kind of proof of the truth of non-duality, because non-duality is supposed to be talking about what is, and what is supports many mutually exclusive things. So if proponents of non-duality propound mutually exclusive things, it's kind of, it makes sense that they would. We've identified with consciousness, and consciousness is a kind of radar. It's a danger detection system to protect this kind of thing here called a body that was born and that does certain things, And it's the game that this thing's playing, the game that reality's playing here as me, is a survival game on one level. And so because we've identified with consciousness, which is a danger detection system, a problem seeking and solving system, we turn everything into problems. It's like to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Anyway, goodbye.